The main menu theme is actually copyrighted, so I can't actually play it for this intro. It's still gonna quietly play in the background because I won't detect it in the system, but for now, sorry for the bad intro. Tales of the Drunken Paladin is probably the first game I'm going to cover where most people, despite how deep they are into RPGmaker games, never have heard of it. With also 99 and Kemitan, I think there may have been a handful of people who've heard of its existence through word of mouth. But for this game, I genuinely think that most people never heard of it, which is honestly a bit disappointing because this game is someone's 11-year-long passion project, starting from 2009 and getting an update around 2022, which for someone to go back on their decade-old game is not something that happens every day. Right off the bat, I do want to say that the creator of this has shown and put a lot of passion and a lot of love into this project, and that is something I will 100% respect him for. That said, this game sadly suffers from a lot of issues, and makes me unable to say that this is a good game, or even a game worth playing. For more details on it, I've asked my good friend Star to give you more insight on it. I'll be back afterwards to give some more details.
I feel the need to lead off the segment for Tales of the Drunken Paladin with an excerpt from the official website. I personally copied together a game that will hopefully speak universal truths about humankind and the world we inhabit straight to the cockles of your heart. If it doesn't do that, I can at least hope to make you laugh. This game is a passion project that has been worked on for over a decade now. In this time, not only has a full base game been released, but also 2 expansions that add whole new areas and stories. If nothing else, I can respect the dedication to this personally cobbled project over the years. Enough about history though, let's focus on the game itself. Tales of the Drunken Paladin follows a formerly renowned, overpowered paladin turned drunkard who loses all of his memories and possessions after an encounter with a mysterious woman. Afterwards, it's pretty much Dungeons & Dragon-esque misadventures, with you assembling a bandswing crew that is on the verge of strangling one another at any given moment. This is fundamentally a comedy. While there is an overarching plot that technically gets serious at points, most of the main story exists to set up jokes and mini-quests that either block your way from traveling to the next area or get you intelligence about the truth of your robbery. While the game wears its lighthearted nature on its sleeves, the humor is basically what you would expect from a game from the late 2000s, early 2010s, inspired by tabletop shenanigans. A lot of memes, in-jokes, and epic awesome sauce type lingo. And this does not change with the more modern expansions either. Unless this dated humor hits some major hotspot for you, the game's writing will be a mixed bag at best. However, what makes this go from light, inconsistent fun to almost unbearable is the game's systems. This game in general has a huge lack of quality of life. You will not find side quests, and especially will not be able to complete side quest chains without a guide. Side quests will be on unmarked, out-of-the-way NPCs and may span across multiple cities with little guidance or connection. Furthermore, many of them are attached to a ham-fisted day-night cycle that you have little manual control over and may have to wait many minutes in real time to progress. Another quality of life issue are the save points, many of which are in weird locations. If you die, there's no retry battle function, so have fun progressing through an entire area again, dealing with all the random encounters and mashing through dialogue that comes with it. This wouldn't be nearly as much of a problem if the game's combat systems weren't, to put it quite frankly, garbage. Almost every encounter boils down to either mashing the basic attack or a high damage skill with some occasional healing sprinkled in between. It is possibly the least engaging RPG combat system I have ever dealt with, making each encounter a chore. And the nature of this system inherently means that balance is completely level-based, which means you are going to have to level grind a lot. While you can select actions for your next character while previous animations are playing, this feels clunky within itself. The game will often freeze up or not properly process your inputs while it is happening. This has even led me to soft locks, which are made so much worse by the save point issue. The game's UI is super unpolished too. It was already a hassle for me to figure out which buttons to press to start a new game on the main menu. However, perhaps more annoying to me, the run button for encounters is tied behind pressing an escape key rather than actually being on the combat menu, something I did not figure out until after I finished the base game and started the first expansion. Despite all these scathing criticisms, I cannot deny that this game got some laughs out of me. Hearing the occasional Eye of the Tiger battle music, seeing the cast of idiots try to screw each other over, ending with the haphazard fourth wall breaks really does capture that charming, merry feeling of a tabletop group. In that, the creator succeeded in the goal he outlined on his website. However, this was not enough to make it a worthwhile experience, especially with the garbage battle systems.
I agree with everything Star said, and honestly, I don't think I could have put it better myself. Thank you, bro. That said, I do want to point out that the humor and the writing of the game does feel like a time capsule, which for some may be fine and some may actually look forward to, but for me made me want to pull my hair out. Entering the first dungeon, you have to hear the protagonist spout a one-liner made me want to put a snub-nosed revolver to my temple. If you have patience for it, great. But oh my god, for the life of me I couldn't. I want to point out one thing, that this game starts off extremely promising, with the first cutscene in the game having full voice acting.
Are you sitting comfortably? Do you have snacks? If not, I suggest that you get some now.
Which I have never experienced before in an RPGmaker game. That said, it leads into a false sense of security where I thought, hey, maybe the entire game would be as advanced as this cutscene. No. I've emphasized the day and night cycle point that Star made by just saying that there was no reason for them to do it in real time. It would have worked better for you to just go to a tavern and skip to nighttime. Have to wait real life time for you to be able to continue a side quest or talk to the NPC you want to talk to was so much more infuriating than it needed to be. I also want to add something about like the basic combat system, the basic gameplay system, and saying that it is just the bare bones one that comes with the engine, which is a combat system that at most is passable and at worst is actually just completely horrible. Most games in the genre add a layer of pain to the combat system to at least make it more appealing to play through, since it ends up distracting from its sheer repetitiveness. Like Off, for example. Off put its unique style to the combat system, and that really shined away from how repetitive the actual combat system is. With Tales of Drunken Paladin, I'm getting the raw experience of the combat system, which is not good. Put that alongside combat encounters being random, and it's not really that fun. Last thing I'm gonna add before we wrap up is that the story really isn't something that is gonna blow you away or anything somebody would consider particularly good or memorable. The only thing that this game has really going for it, like Star mentioned before, is the humor. And for me, this humor aged badly. If you don't like this type of humor from the early 2010s, there's really nothing going for this game. The story isn't good, the gameplay isn't good, the characters aren't that good, the world building isn't that good, it doesn't really have anything appealing to it. So for that, I really can't recommend it. In summary, Tales of Drunken Paladin is a pretty mediocre game with a gameplay system which really becomes jarring and a story which isn't really that worth it aside from the humor. And with also the game being around 10 hours or so long, with the DLC lasting longer, I can't really recommend it. I'm putting this below Asa 909 and above a Kemitan. With a Kemitan and a Oni, I always felt that no matter what, it would still end up being a mediocre or bad product. With Tales of Drunken Paladin, I feel like if it did just fix its gameplay system, like just completely reworked it, it could have had something pretty special. But sadly, it didn't, and even though I can feel the love of this product, I cannot call it even better than mediocre at most. Which is pretty sad. With that, we're going to the next game. And once more, thank you Star for helping with this video.